All right, Udo, you turned 50 last night. How are you feeling?
Yeah, not that much difference, but we had a big party. So already in Sweden, on the night from the 5th of the 6th of April, we was on stage. There was a big party going on, and then last night was a big party going on. So I think it's now enough party. But I mean, for me, it's what I said already on stage is the best thing can happen for me to be on stage on my 50th birthday.
Sure.
Yeah, so.
You've been doing this for very many years now. Do you ever reflect upon your life as a rock musician?
No, I mean, in a way, this is my life, and but let's say in a way I'm a person. How can I say this? I mean, when I'm on tour, I'm in a way a different person. But when I'm home, let's say also another person. And I think this is what keeps you going. You know, to be close to your door when you're home, and then relax in different ways.
Do you ever plan the future? I mean, you still record albums quite often, and you make very good albums. You are constantly on tour, it seems like it. Yes. Do you ever think, oh, okay, I will make like 3-4 albums more, and then I will call it a day? Or will you just go on as long as you can?
No, I think I will go on as long as I can. So we have already plans until 2004. I mean, we just start now with the tour with the new album. And looks like that we definitely until March or April next year on tour. So that means 1 year on tour, and then in the summertime we work on a DVD, U.D.O. DVD. It's coming out in September, and if the tour finishes, I think then we have a little break and start working on the next album.
Do you still think it's exciting to make new albums? I mean, you've done that so many times by now. When you go into the studio the first day, is it still the same as it used to be?
Yeah, of course, it's still interesting. I mean, we never had any problems about ideas. You know, a lot of people asking, you still have enough ideas? But we never had problems with that. And it's always interesting to go in the studio and start working on new songs and try some little different things, but we always keep the same basic. But for us, it's interesting to put something in a way different for us on top.
Your new album is called Man and Machine. Read some reviews, and they are really great. Do you consider this a very typical U.D.O. album? Does it differ from your previous ones?
I think Man and Machine, it's very close to older Accept stuff, and that's what we want to do in the future. I mean, and go as near as possible to the old Accept style. And I think this album, for us is also an album. The whole band was working on this album, composing, arranging, everything. It was a real teamwork this time, and so that was also for us after a long time. The first time that we was working at the studio as a band, and so I'm looking forward for the next album. That will be more interesting.
Your guitar player Stefan Kaufmann used to play drums in Accept, yes. And he's a very important man in your band right now. He's producing, he's writing songs, he's playing the guitar. As long as you want things to sound like Accept, is it an advantage to have him in the band?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that Stefan, when he came to Accept, he was, before he did the drums, he was already playing the guitar, and I knew that he was a good guitar player, and he was also in Accept. For me, he was in a way the brain of Accept. He did a lot of things in Accept. And so when I start again with U.D.O, then I asked him, okay, if you want to play the guitar in U.D.O, and he said, yes, I love to do this. And so, of course, I mean, Stefan for me is very important. Composing, he was always producing my vocals, and I mean, you can say with Stefan together, it's like, in a way, 50% of Accept. And for me, it's a little bit more than 50% of Accept. I mean, I know what Stefan was doing in Accept. So, and I mean, for us now it's just a different name, and we still do the same thing. We still play a lot of Accept songs, and in a way we want to keep the spirit alive.
As far as I remember, he had to quit playing the drums because he wounded his knee. Do you think he would have been the drummer in U.D.O. if he still could play the drums?
Maybe, but I think he isn't. He's more he feels more comfortable now with the guitar than with the drums. So, and it's also good. Now I have two drummers in the band, you know. So, and they're working also perfect together. I mean, now we have a very young guy on drums. He's 26 years old, but he is learning also a lot of from Stefan Kaufmann about all the drumming special style what Accept has, you know, the groove of Accept, and I mean, this is perfect.
Okay. On your new album, you're doing a duet with Doro Patch.
Yes.
How did that happen?
I mean, this idea was not new. We had this idea already 10 years ago when we did a reunion with Accept, and then but it didn't work out at this time. So the both record companies, they couldn't work together. You know, there was a lot of business stuff going on. Who's the bigger star and this and blah blah blah. And then then we said, okay, this is too much trouble. Forget this idea. And I mean, I know Doro for a very long time. And when we had this ballad on this album, it was not planned that we that I do this together with Doro. And then Stefan came up and said, hey, that can be maybe the song to pick up this idea again. So then I was calling Doro. And then she came to the studio, was listening to the song. She likes the song, and then we start working on the song. That's the way it was happened.
Did you play the song live? I mean, she's not with you on tour for sure, but
I mean, maybe on some festivals this summer, or maybe some when she is in Germany. She's most of the time in America, and at the moment she's working on a new album. So, but maybe in one shows or two shows in Germany or on festivals, maybe we do this song together then.
There are a lot of Accept classics you have to play when you play concerts with U.D.O. Now that you have so much U.D.O. material to choose from, does that mean you play less Accept songs on your concerts?
No, still we do 50-50. I mean, what we always do is, of course, we have to play new songs from a new album of U.D.O. Then still we play all the classic stuff of Accept, and not all of them, but the most popular stuff. And then, of course, U.D.O. songs, older U.D.O. songs, and then we try always to play older Accept stuff or songs they was not played for a long time with Accept. So, I mean, to put a set list together, this is the hardest job. I mean, we have so many albums. And of course now U.D.O. has already 8 albums out, and then 10 albums of Accept. I mean, you cannot satisfy everybody. We try to do always keep it interesting.
When you look on your career with U.D.O., are you happy with all your albums?
This is of course, if you are finished with an album, then you say, okay, it's good, but then normally after 1 year you listen back to this, then you say, we can do this better and this better, but this is normal. But I think one album I'm not really, I don't like it. Now you cannot say I don't like it, but I'm not really satisfied is the Mean Machine album. This is, I don't know.
The second one?
Yeah, the second one.
Do you feel that you have achieved with U.D.O. what you wanted? I mean, compared to Accept, you went back with Accept and then you quit Accept and then you continued with U.D.O. Do you feel that you have achieved what you wanted?
I mean, I was not really sure to do this reunion with Accept. I mean, when we had the Time Bomb album out with U.D.O., we had a very good success already with U.D.O. And then I was really thinking about this reunion of Accept. And then I said, okay, I want to hear first the songs. Is it real Accept material? So an Objectionable Rule was a very, I can say it was a Accept album, a real Accept album. Then I said, okay, let's do it again. But then a lot of problems was happened. I mean, problems with the second guitar player. Stefan Kaufmann couldn't play the drums anymore, and there was the whole, how you say this, the whole thing, the spirit was gone, you know. And it was going then in the end in too much different directions. And then when we did the Predator album, we said, okay, it's better to stop before we destroy the name Accept. And then I have to start, I don't want to stop. So then I said, okay, then I do U.D.O. again. But the second time for me with U.D.O. in the beginning it was very hard. It was a very hard beginning. So I think that a lot of people was thinking now Udo is doing a solo album again, then Accept is starting again. A lot of people were thinking that. And then in the beginning, I mean, that was a very hard time for us. But then after the No Limits album, I think the people realized that Accept is definitely over. So what can I say? I mean, now with U.D.O, like since the Holy album and now with the new album, it looks very well for us. And in a way, it's still the same as it was with Accept. And at the moment with the band, what I have now with U.D.O, I mean now this lineup is together for over 3 years. It's still the same lineup, and it's a real band. And for me, it's like 20 years ago with Accept. There is something. Spirit there, you know, a magic between each other, and this is, I mean, I feel very comfortable at the moment, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. There are a lot of Accept classics, as we mentioned. Now that you have released 8 albums with U.D.O, what are the biggest U.D.O classics?
Oh, definitely this is They Won War, Animal House. Then from Mean Machine, there is Break the Rules, a very good one. Faithless World, Heart of Gold, Living on the Front Line. And then from Time Bomb, of course, the title song, Metal Eater. And then Independence Day from Solid is already a classic thing. No Limits. And Holy, we have Holy, Cut Me Out, and Raiders of Beyond. There are very good songs and in a way classic. And now I know already from the new album is definitely Man and Machine, Private Eye, Animal Instinct, and then the rest we will see. But a lot of people asking, you know, for some songs. But the end of the tour, we know which songs from the new album the people like most.
The name U.D.O, does that mean anything? Did you just take your first name and put dots in between? It isn't.
Yeah. But the dots in between, it was like when we was making up a logo, so they put some dots in between, so it's no meaning. But you can say United Democratic Organization if you want.